सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. We have completed up to 23rd sloka in chapter 18, Moksha Sanyasa Yogam. Today we will take up 24th sloka. Paramatma started talking about the karma in three aspects: Sattvika karma, Rajasa karma and Tamasa karma. We have completed Sattvika karma in the last class. Today we are taking up Rajasa karma. Yatsu kamepsuna karma sahankarena va punaha क्रियते बहुलायासं तद्राजसमुदाहृतं. Rajasam karma, rajasic action, udahrutam tat is said to be that bahulayasam, which is full of pain, et tu kriyate, which is undertaken. Kamepsuna, by one who seeks results, ya punaha, and sahankarena, who is egoistic. Punaha et tu kamepsuna sahankarena va bahula ayasam karma kriyate tat rajasam udahrutam. Rajasic action is said to be that which is full of pain and which is undertaken by one who seeks result and who is egoistic. In the previous sloka, we discussed about the Sattvika karma, that is karma yogam. Now Paramatma defines Rajasa karma. Rajasam karma is a karma done with kriyate bahulayasam. It is a karma which involves a tremendous stress, strain and pain. The person is heavily stressed, heavily strained. There is a tremendous tension which tells upon his life in different ways. There are people who suppress the tension because the ethics and business etiquette requires certain external smile. So some vasham is required. Some artificial vasham is required. And therefore, he suppresses his tension. And externally, he pretends as though he is relaxed and relieved person. Therefore, one problem is, it tells upon the body in due course. Varieties of psychosomatic diseases will survive. So, Rajasam karma is that which increases tension, which surfaces in the form of varieties of diseases. His health will be at stake. Or another person is a person does not know how to handle this tension, anxiety, and therefore he expresses the same in front of the other people. Therefore, he is highly irritable person, short-tempered, all the time irritable, and the victims are often the family members. The children will have to bear the brunt of this executive. The wife will have to face the scolding and anger. Therefore, he becomes an angry person. And this is another expression. Or still worse, he does not know how to cope up with the stress, strain, and therefore, he tries to release through various other additions like drinking and taking up narcotics. He must go in the evening to release the tension. He should go to club or smoke, or he takes to varieties of habits, and after some time all of them would not work, so he becomes a wreck. Family becomes a wreck, and even family breaks up. And especially nowadays, when the life is becoming faster and faster, this becomes the price and that we must pay. When he cannot lead even an ordinary peaceful life, where is the question of studying scriptures? A tension-ridden mind will not have the inner relaxation, either to pray or to spend some time with family members or to attend Gita or Upanishad class. All these are not possible at all. Becomes a very, very unfortunate, the tragic life. In fact, he will be climbing the corporate ladder. He has become vice president, president, etc. He has climbed the corporate ladder, earning 3 to 4 lakhs per month. But he has money, but no peace. And not only he does not have peace, even the family members do not have peace. This is a typical Rajasic karma. So Paramatma says, Bahula Ayasam. Ayasam means stress, strain, tension, anxiety. Inner volcano. When this volcano bursts, nobody knows. Therefore, our Swamiji says, when such father comes home from the office, even the children run to their rooms, respective rooms. Nobody wants to confront him because they know he will shout and make hell out of nothing. Poor wife, she cannot escape. She has to face the music. And this is how his life continues. So, there is no peaceful life, no peaceful family, no religion, no spirituality. Paramatma says, are you interested in that? Wish you all the best if you are interested. Therefore, Bahula Ayasam Kriyate. Actions with tremendous stress. Kamepsuna Kriyate. Kamepsuna Kriyate means it is done by a person who has got materialistic desires. Like power, he always hankers after power, position, name, fame, status, and etc. Status and so on. So, there is a lot of competition in the corporate world. Therefore, I want to have the status. Therefore, he is fighting for that. Even if he is not interested, the family members constantly taunt him to go after the rat race. They compare with neighbors, they compare with family members and push him into this rat race. Therefore, Kamepsuna, what is fundamental misconception? That all the status, name, what is the fundamental misconception? Status, name, fame, position will fetch me peace of mind. This is the gross mistake, a misconception. People think that by fame, name, and status, one will get a peace of mind. On the contrary, they will lose peace of mind. They are totally torn and they lose their tranquility of mind in the rat race. We can have enough examples in which a person has all of them without peace. We have got equal number of examples in which a person does not have any one of them, but still he is contented person. Sannyasis, for example, they are contented. We have Kuchela in our Bhagavatam. Kuchela means, Chela means dress. Kuchela means torn dress or soiled dress. So, though he is not having anything, he is contented. This is how we have. Therefore, Kamepsuna Karma Kriyate. The action done by a person who is interested in all these external things. Sahankarena, who is highly egoistic. He wants to value assets. He wants to value status. He wants to value position. So, he wants to stick to the status because he values that. He thinks that his glory is because of that particular status or position. Therefore, he holds on to that. So, ahankarena attached to the external insignias, external symbols of status and position. Sahankarena, therefore, he demands also. So, even in a spiritual discourse, he is very particular about the row he is allotted. Even though Gita is same, whether he listens in the first row or third row, he is very particular about his position. Even if he comes late, that seat must be kept vacant for him. So that kind of ego he carries on. So he is very conscious. A typical egoism case is the Rajasic case. Therefore, Sahankarena means action done by an egoistic person who is interested in external and who is always in tension. Such a karma is Rajasam Udahrutam, is said to be Rajasic karma. So now we will take up the 25th slokam. Anubandham kshayam himsam anavekshya cha paurusham mohadarabhyate karma yattattamasamuchyate. Tamasam karma, tamasic action. Uchyate tat is said to be that. Yada arabhyate, which is undertaken. Mohat, due to tension, due to delusion. Anaveksha, without considering. Anubandham, the consequences. Kshayam, loss. Himsam, harm. Cha, paurusham, and capacity. Anubandham kshayam himsam paurusham cha anavekshya. Yat karma mohat arabhyate tat tamasam uchyate. Tamasic action is said to be that which is undertaken due to delusion, without considering the consequences, loss, harm, and capacity. Now, Paramatma defines tamasic karma. He points out any thoughtless action, any action done without proper thinking, proper planning is tamasa karma. Vedanta or Karma Yoga insists upon proper planning. Many people get confused regarding planning for the future and worrying about the future. This is very big confusion. Planning is a deliberate action. If I am planning a pilgrimage, I must decide when I am starting, which should be the first place. If I have to book the ticket, I should know how I am going. So this is how the entire planning goes. Vedanta strongly recommends planning. That is sattvic karma. That is intelligence. Whereas worrying is totally different thing. After booking the ticket, suppose you worry whether the train will run or not. After all, it is India. You do not know which strike will come, when and which track will cause derailment, especially when you read the news items. Every day there is one derailment or another. You can think of such things, and that worry is deliberate action. But it is something that happens without our thinking. How do you know the difference between planning and worrying? Since planning is a deliberate action, you can choose the time and fix. Suppose you want to undertake pilgrimage in December. You can decide to plan the next month, next to next month. You can allot the time. You can even allot the place also. So you can perfectly plan. What about worrying? Do you choose that I want to worry about my son the same day? Therefore, between 5 and 6 p.m., I will worry about my son. Can you plan like that? No. So what happens? Without your permission, at any time, even in the middle of the class, sometimes the worry invades you. The worry totally dilutes you. Worry regarding the future does not give you efficiency in the present. The worry saps up your efficiency. It weakens you. Planning strengthens you. Worry weakens you. Planning is also with regarding to the future. Worry is also with regarding to the future. One is healthy, the other one is unhealthy. Satvika karma involves planning, whereas tamasika karma, there is no planning. I felt like doing, therefore I did it. Therefore, Paramatma says, Paurusham Anaveksha. Paurusham means a human capacity, a personal capacity, personal resources. Personal capacity means intellectual capacity, financial capacity, like that. Even if I am using a particular course of study, I should, whether I have the capacity to undertake that course or not. Intellectual resources, emotional resources, physical resources, financial resources, these are all required. I have to take all of them into account. Otherwise, I have overstretched my leg. And in English, there is a proverb, biting more than one can chew. You do not have place for munching, or you have to run to another room and take it out. Even while eating, you should know how big should be the morsel. A tamasic karma, proper planning will be lacked. So anaveksha means without taking into consideration the individual capacity. The next thing is anubandham, an action done without considering the consequences. Without considering the consequences, if an action is done, if in the office the boss shouts at him, then immediately he shouts back and he loses the job the next day. This is how he reacts. He doesn't know the consequences. He simply reacts. So this is anubandham, not knowing the consequences, reacting out of temperament. Kshayam means the loss or expenditure. Nothing can be attained free. Whatever you have to accomplish in life, you have to proportionally spend or expend. 12 hours of slogging. I'm taking up a job which requires 12 hours of slogging. Or if I have to get involved night shift of working, or if I have to involve in the night shift, I should know whether my body can take it or not. So physical expenditure, financial expenditure, all types of loss or expenditure should be calculated. So therefore, Shayam means loss. Then Himsam, I should know whether any damage will be caused by my action. When we have got nuclear energy, there is a proportional damage. When there is an advancement in the city, roads and all of them, there is a damage in the form of pollution. Any action I do, there are favorable consequences, equal number of unfavorable consequences. We downplay the unfavorable consequences. Generally, we ignore the unfavorable consequences. This is the general habit. Because one problem in particular, a particular job, the problem at the present always looms large, appears bigger. Therefore, I want to jump out of it. And I look at the other situation and find that other situation, this problem is absent. Like from the rented house to own house. But own house has got its own problems. It is not owned house, the ownership flat. There is a ownership and you are flat. So a new setup. This particular problem is absent when we want to get out of this particular problem. And we see that a particular problem is absent. We do not see that it is replaced by some other problem. Every problem gives an impact on our life. If a problem is absent, it is replaced by another problem. It is something like jumping from frying pan to fire, which is a worse situation. Therefore, I have action I take. There are favorable and unfavorable situations also. There is no decision which is uniformly positive. Even sannyasa hood will have problems. There are some minus points in that also. To think favorable, everyone does. An intelligent person asks, am I be prepared to face unfavorable? First, I am aware of it, and if not prepared, better I prepare and jump into that. And in tamasic karma, I do not do that. So then, what do I do? Now also I am crying. Then also I will cry. So constant crying is there. There is absolutely no planning. After summing up the topics of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, up to 17th sloka, Paramatma started from 18th verse onwards the new topics for cryptic analysis. In each topic, he deals with three components, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. This is the topic from 18th sloka up to 40th. The topics taken apart, Jnanam, Karma, Karta. Jnanam means knowledge, Karma means action, Karta means doer. Then Buddhi, Dhriti. Buddhi means intellect or intelligence. Dhriti means willpower. Buddhi, Dhriti, and then finally Sukham. Sukham means happiness. Totally we have 6 topics. You have to include the 3 types of sannyasa. He has talked before. So excluding the 3 types of sannyasa, we have 6 topics from 18th verse onwards, from 18th sloka onwards. Jnanam, Karma, Karta, Buddhi, Dhruti, Sukham. In each one, Paramatma talks about Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic variety. And indirectly, Paramatma wants to convey Tamasic variety should be given up at the earliest possible time because it is damaging to the spiritual progress. It will not make you a spiritual person. However advantageous it may be materially, we should give up the Tamasic variety. Whether it is Tamasic karma or Tamasa kartrutvam or Tamasa sukham or Tamasa dhruti. In all this, Tamasa variety should be given up. If you are a spiritual speaker, remember the entire Gita is taught assuming that the student is ultimately interested in the spiritual destination. That is for moksha. He is interested in moksha. If a person does not have spiritual destination, we should be careful to avoid introducing Gita to such a person. Though you should remember Gita is a Moksha Shastram. Throughout, you should remember Gita is a Moksha Shastram. Shankara Bhagavad specially tells this in introducing Gita. Gita is Moksha Shastram he introduces. Because Arjuna in first and second chapters pointed out that I am not able to get peace of mind in spite of material success. He clearly says even the Swarga, the heaven which is the height of materialistic accomplishment, even that heaven will not remove my sorrow. So from that it is very clear that the student of Gita has understood the limitations of material accomplishments. Therefore, in and through all these discussions, we should remember that moksha is kept in mind. If moksha is my absolute goal, the only goal, any pursuit which brings me down spiritually, I must give up, even though it is materially beneficial. Therefore, all tamasic actions, all tamasic types should be given up at the earliest possible time, including tamasic ahara or food, which was mentioned in chapter 17. Then as far as Rajasic variety is concerned, one has to slowly transcend the Rajasic variety, and we are not in a hurry to give up Rajasic variety. It cannot be given up also immediately. It need not be given up immediately also, because the Rajasic variety will not pull me down spiritually. The greatest grace is the Rajasic Jnanam, Rajasic Karma, Rajasic Sukham. All of them will not pull me down spiritually. The problem with Rajasic variety is it will keep me in spiritual stagnation. It will not pull me down, but it will slow down the spiritual progress, the spiritual growth. And since it will not pull me down spiritually, you can gradually transcend the Rajasic variety. And also, we should remember any Rajasic pursuit will also have its initial advantage. Even Karma Yoga requires Rajoguna. Therefore, I should initially accept Rajoguna and Rajasic lifestyle, because to perform Karma Yoga, I require Rajoguna. To serve the society, I need Rajoguna. And also, after the purification of the mind, I have to gradually withdraw from Rajasic pursuit. Therefore, Rajoguna is initially useful. We need not be too much against Rajoguna. Little bit is okay. So, we should not be totally engrossed in Rajoguna. That is the thing we should watch carefully. Rajasic lifestyle is okay, but it will not allow you to progress further. It will keep you where you are. So, in order to progress spiritually, you have to slowly reduce Rajoguna and increase Sattvaguna. So you have to come to Gita class, you have to slowly, study the scriptures, and you have to purify the mind and expand the mind. So slowly the Sattvika Jnanam, Sattvika Karma, Sattvika Dhruti, Sattvika Sukham, all Sattvika variety you must take up. And this you should remember. Tamasic variety you should give up immediately. Rajasika Guna, slowly and gradually you have to transcend from Rajasika Guna. You have to transcend from Rajasika Guna to Sattvika Guna, Sattvik variety. So, this is what we have in this particular sloka. So, from verse 20 to 22, we have completed 3 types of karma and 3 types of jnanam from sloka number 23 up to 25. So, 3 types of karma, 3 types of jnanam, all are over. From sloka 20 to 22, we have completed 3 types of jnanam. From sloka 23rd up to 25th, we have completed 3 types of karma. Now we are entering into 3 types of karta. We will read sloka number 26. Mukta sango naham vadi dhrutyutsaha samandvitaha siddhya siddhyo nirvikaraha karta sattvika uchyate. Sattvikaha, the sattvic doer, karta uchyate, is said to be Mukta Sangaha, one who is free from attachment. Anahamvadi, one who is free from egoism. He doesn't have any egoistic mind. Dhrutyutsaha Samanvita, who is endowed with will and enthusiasm. Nirvikaraha, who is unaffected. Siddha Asiddhoho, in success and failure. Mukta Sangaha, Anahamvadi, Dhruti Utsaha Samanvitaha, Siddhi Asiddhyoho, Nirvikaraha, Karta, Satvikaha Uchyate. So Satvik doer is said to be one who is free from attachment, who is free from egoism, who is endowed with will and enthusiasm, who is unaffected in success and failure. So these three verses, Sloka 26, 27 and 28, is dealing with three types of karta. So this particular verse defines Satvika karta. 27th sloka defines Rajasa karta. And 28th defines Tamasa karta. Really speaking, Paramatma need not talk about these three types of karta at all, because he has already mentioned about three types of karma. If you know three types of karma, you yourself can define three types of karta. If you, for example, if you know Sattvic karma, you will know Sattvic karta. Who is Sattvic karta? One who performs Sattvic karma is Sattvic karta. So one who performs Rajasa karma is Rajasa karta. So we ourselves can identify who is Sattvic karta, who is Rajasic karta, who is Tamasic karta. But however, Paramatma is Jagat Guru. He doesn't want to leave a stone unturned. So he is mentioning threefold karta. He is defining the karta as Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. So Sattvic karta, Mukta Sangaha, one who uses karma as a temporary means to transcend the karma. So one who uses karma or action only as a temporary means to transcend the karma. Ultimately, he will transcend the karma, because karma is very, very useful up to the attainment of Chitta Suddhi. Karma is extremely useful in attainment of mental purity, Chitta Suddhi. After you attain that Chitta Suddhi, karma becomes an obstacle. Why karma is an obstacle? Two reasons. First reason is karma is activity-oriented thing, and it makes you an extrovert. You will not have the time to look within. To study your real nature, you will not get time. So first problem is karma makes you an extrovert person. Even it makes you a restless person. Such person cannot quietly study Shastra. Shastra study requires non-extrovert and quiet mind. Therefore, karma is an obstacle to Vedantic study after a certain level. The second reason is karma will only invoke my karta nature. The more am I involved in karma, the more kartutvam I am the doer, the notion is reinforced. Whereas the ultimate truth is I am a karta. So since karma involves karta, karma is an obstacle to discovery of I am a karta truth. Therefore, we should remember, I have to use karma for some times. Purify the mind. Thereafter, Swadharman Parityajya. That is why when a sannyasi comes, Grihastha reminds him, na karmana na pradaya dhane na tyage naike amritatva manasuhu. So he just reminds sannyasi, karma yogi is one who knows this fact. Therefore, he does not get attached to any type of karma. Because he remembers, I have to do this and later I have to drop this. Like entering into a college, after securing the seat, one has to graduate. After graduation, he has to leave the college. He cannot stay there permanently as a student. Therefore, Moksha Sanyasa, the one who is not attached to any profession, any karma, one who is not attached to even service activities, because he knows the limitation. Such an enlightened person is a karma yogi. So he is a sattvika karta, Moksha Sanyasa. So he is not attached to even sattvic karmas. He does sattvic karma in order to purify, in order to get himself qualified, and thereafter he slowly reduces the karma. That's how sattvika karta is defined. Next definition of sattvika karta is anahamvadi, the one who does not allow his karma and especially his success of karma to get into his head. He will not get, a kind of ego. Then I have got superior profession. When I'm a vice president of a company, when I do certain noble activities, there is a chance that it causes ahankara in me. And I come to know that I have a status in the society. As long as I have such designation, I have got a status in the society. As long as I am a secretary of this Rotary Club, this mission, that mission, and more, I have got certain designation and status, there is a possibility that I begin to enjoy the status. And once I fall in love with that particular position and role, I will never like to leave this, because attachment, like the politicians who will not like to give up their positions. He will refuse to give up the presidency or secretaryship of that company. So that's how a Rajasic person will be. But a Sattvic person knows all this will improve, all this will create more ahankara in him. So when time comes, he will leave this and then slowly proceeds towards the study of scriptures. So the attachment towards the ego, status, position is ultimately not there. So ahankara means attachment to the position and status. Even when somebody glorifies, he does not take the glory. He does not take the glory. He hands it over to Guru or Bhagavan. So this is how the person safeguards himself. Therefore, he is anahamvadi, one who has got amanitvam. Often we think we are humble, but arrogance unknowingly gets into our head. How do we know that? How do we know? When people do not acknowledge our contribution, when our name is not read in the vote of thanks list, when our photo does not appear in the souvenir, when we do not get the garland on the stage, we feel hurt. The hurt is the indication of ahankara is propping up. Ahankara is rising. Karma yogi will never allow that to happen. Therefore, anahamvadi, so in short, a sattvic karta is a karma yogi and he is not having ahankaram. Dhruti utsaha samanvitaha. Whether people recognize or acknowledge, whether people reciprocate or not, whether the people have gratitude or not, this person is enthusiastic in his action. Dhruti utsaha samanvitaha. Dhruti means one who has perseverance, one whose enthusiasm is not dampened by failure. If his attempt in any field fails, he will not withdraw. Again, he will do that so that he will be successful. Paramatma himself will talk about this willpower later. Therefore, he has got tremendous willpower. Dhruti means willpower, perseverance. This is like a rubber ball. Imagine that you have in one hand a rubber ball, in another hand a clay ball. Drop it, rubber ball will bounce back, a clay ball will stick to the floor. So, this sattvic karta will be like a rubber ball. So, he can always uses his willpower in order to achieve things. Is that utsaha, that cheerful tendency is always there. He is not only cheerful, he can convert a gloomy person into cheerful person. Whereas the other variety, you can see a tamasic person, he can convert a cheerful person into a gloomy person. Whereas the sattvic person can transform the world. He can make the world vibrant. A positive person is one who will talk about all positive things that are happening in the creation. The creation has got positive events, negative events. Your world depends upon what you think. The world remaining the same, the mixture of positive and negative. You talk of positive events, you are surrounded by positiveness. If you talk of negative events, you are surrounded by negative vibes. Therefore, the world that you confront depends on what you think, and what you confront depends on what you think. And you can take a vow, I will take up only positive things. And it makes a big difference of you, as well as people in the family. A sattvic karta has a positive view in everything. Dhruti utsaha samanvitaha. In TV, there are so many programs, good, bad, and ugly. But this person, he picks up only good programs. He will see Swamiji's speeches, all good things, and he improves his sattvic nature. Siddhi asiddhoho nirvikaraha, one who enjoys balanced mind, whatever be the consequences of his undertaking, whether his activities are fruitful or not fruitful, he will not have any depression or he will not be totally elated. So, karmanye vadikaraste mafaleshu kadachana. So he knows that karma phala is Ishvara. Ishvara is the karma phala data. He knows pretty well that Ishvara is the karma phala data. Though he performed the karma perfectly, the karma phala may be in his favor or it may not be in his favor. So in siddhi and asiddhi, in success and failure, his attitude will be same. He will not bloat if the success is there. He will not go to depression if there is no success. So he always maintains balance. He is always in his composure. So that kind of positive nature he maintains. So this is the Sattvika Karta. So in short, we can understand that he is a Karma Yogi. A Karma Yogi is a perfect example of Sattvika Karta. Therefore, Karma Yoga presupposes the faith in God. Karma Yoga presupposes surrender to God. Therefore, Nirvikaraha Sattvika Karta Uchyate. So, Sattvika Karta is another name for Karma Yogi. Ragi Karma Phala Prepsuhu Lubdo Himsatmako Suchihi Harsha Sokamvita Karta Rajasa Parikirtitaha. Ragi means who is having lot of desires. Karma Phala Prepsu, who is more interested in the karma phalas. Lubdaha, stingy person. Himsatmaka, who is more hurting and who causes pain to others. Asuchihi, not having a clear attitude, is having impure mind. Harsha Sokanvitaha, he is subject to troubles and tribulations. He is happy and also unhappy, and having a momentary happiness and momentary unhappiness. Rajasa Karta, he is called Rajasa Karta, Parikirtita. That's how the Shastra defines him. Ragi Karma Phala Prepsuhu, Lubda Himsatmakaha, Asuchihi, Harsha Soka Anvitaha Karta Rajasa Parikirtitaha. So, a person who is having desires, who is always interested in karma phalas, a stingy person who always hurts others for want of fulfilling his desires, who is not having pure mind, who is having happiness, momentary happiness and momentary unhappiness, is called Rajasa Karta. So here Paramatma is defining a Rajasic Karta. So one difference between Sattvika Karta and Rajasika Karta is Sattvika Karta can take the victory and the failure equally. He will not brood when he loses something. Whereas a Sattvic Karta will learn from the failure and he will make it a lesson so that he can grow spiritually. But whereas Rajasic Karta will not do that. So, in fact, one need not run away from the failure. For that, there are two reasons. One, we cannot run away from the failure. Failure is a part of the life. So, what we can do is we can learn from the failure and we can grow spiritually. You can learn from the tennis game. Two players are playing Wimbledon match, let us say. Only one will be winning, the other will lose. This is for sure. So both of them will not get the cup. Only one will get the cup. But both will be playing and they get that benefit of that exercise. So benefit-wise, both will get. When you look at the cup-wise, only one will get. So this is how you have to see. Even in the failure, you can always improve upon and you can look back and think of the points of refinement and you can play next time better. So this is how you can improve upon. Similarly in Karma Yogam, when you fail, from the failure you always learn lessons and try to refine yourself. It will give you inner growth and it will make you progress spiritually. But both failure and success will give you chitta suddhi. Both will give you chitta suddhi, but failure will give you more chitta suddhi because you have got the stamina to withstand it. So that is the advantage. Ragi means one who has got attachment towards the desire. He wants his desire to be fulfilled. Karma phala prepsu. He always gives importance to external things, external appearance, and outwardly thinks he is having lot of prominence. This kind of attitude will not help him to grow internally. Spiritually, he will not grow. If he is having karma phala prepsu, that means he is more interested in the mundane success. So such person cannot progress spiritually. Then himsatmakaha. Himsatmakaha means for want of winning in the world, he will not mind hurting others. So this is a very wrong attitude he adopts in order to win the mundane success. Lubdaha, he is a greedy person. However successful he is not happy with it. He wants more and more and more success. So this is how he is lubdaha. Lubdaha means a greedy and stingy person. Then asuchihi, his mind is not pure. He will entertain all bad thoughts in order to accumulate more and more money. Harsha soka samanvitaha. Harsha soka samanvitaha means he will have momentary happiness and momentary sorrow. So he will be toiling between happiness and sorrow. There is no peace in him. There is no mental tranquility in him. So this is the Rajasika Karta. Harsha Soka Samanvitaha Karta Rajasa Parikirtitaha. Such a person with these kinds of attributes is called Rajasa Karta. This is how Bhagavad Gita clearly defined a Rajasa Karta. Om Tatsat Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudatyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.